Today we are here to worship Sri Krishna. As you know, Sri Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu. And Vishnu is the one who is the preserver of this universe. When this whole world was created, it was necessary to create a preserver also, because this world would have been destroyed. And completely, if it is left alone without a preserver, then the way human beings are, they could have done anything to this world. But so Vishnu is the preserver. He is the preserver and he is the only one really incarnates. Of course, sometimes Brahmadeva also incarnated. But he only takes forms. In our evolutionary process, he has taken different forms. He came on this earth in different ways. But still he had, as you say, 12 up to 12 was Sri Rama, and up to 10 he was there. So he created also an atmosphere of the many great prophets around himself, so that they could preserve the dharma of this universe. So the basis of preservation was dharma, which has got, as you know, the most important basic foundation for spiritual life. In this dharma, whatever was to be established balance. It was a habit with people to go to extremes in anything. So he created a balance within us. The first principle of dharma was to create balance. If a person doesn't have a balance, then he cannot achieve his ascent. Simple as that. If you don't have a balance in your aeroplane, it cannot ascend. If you don't have a balance, say, on a ship, it won't move. In the same way, first the human beings had to achieve the balance. But they are born with different capacities, with different capabilities. I said that Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Jati Rupena Samsita. Means the aptitudes are different. They are born with different aptitudes, with different faces, with different colors, because variety was to be created. If everybody looked the same, you see, they would be looking like some robots or something. So everybody was created in a different way according to the country, according to the parents. All this was organized by the principle of Sri Vishnu, that he created this world in different varieties. He gave variety. And Sri Krishna is the master of it. At the time when Sri Krishna came, people were extremely serious type and had become very ritualistic. The reason was that Rama came and he talked of maryadas. And these maryadas made people extremely austere type. In that austerity, people lost the sense of joy, sense of beauty, sense of variety. So the Sri Krishna's incarnation came, as we call it, the Sampurna. It's complete because he has 16 petals. As the moon has 16 kalas, he too had 16 petals, so he is Sampurna and he is what we call is the Purnima, is the full moon. With this completeness of his incarnation, of Vishnu's incarnation, from Vishnu to many other incarnations, he came as the complete incarnation, the total of Sri Vishnu was manifested. So, whatever was lacking in Rama's incarnation, he brought it forth. As you know that on the center, on the right heart, you have 12 petals. With this, he showed so many things which people miss completely. Because, unfortunately, Gita was written down. When Gita was written down, people started following the book word by word, not understanding. And in the Gita, his message was never for peace. He didn't say you should be peaceful. It was something like jihad. That he said that to Arjuna, you have to fight. At this time, you have to fight for dharma, for the truth. And you have to fight. Then he said, I can't kill my uncles and I can't kill my grandfather and I can't kill my relations. He said, who are you killing? They are already dead. Because they have no dharma. If you have no dharma, then you are already dead. So what is there to kill or not to kill? And that is what today we see. In modern times, especially America, which is the country of Vishuddhi, they have no dharma. So they are already dead, under dope or whatever you may call it, under fear of all kinds of diseases. They are already dead, and whom are you going to kill? And this message was in Kurukshetra he gave to Arjuna. But then he said, you have asked me to kill these people because I have dharma in me. I am killing them, all right. But what beyond this? What is beyond that? So he describes Sahaja Yoga. Beyond this was Sahaja Yoga. First he describes in the second chapter, who is the Sthita Prajna? Is the man who is balanced. Then he says that such a man is never angry. He doesn't get angry. Inside, he is absolutely at peace. So what he described later on is really the modern times. Or we can say our Sahaja Yoga, in which he said how a person should become. He didn't write or he didn't say how to become that. But the description is just like Christ, I think, where he says that if somebody slaps you on one face, you put the other side of the face. All this is actually description of Sahajogis, of the future, not at that time when Kauravas were fighting the Pandavas. It was not at that time. During that fight, he told him that if you become a Sthita Prajna, then you can transcend all these problems, all these understandings that you have, and you become absolutely peaceful with yourself. So on one side, he said, you have to fight. Now in modern times, we do not have to fight Kauravas. There are no Kauravas. The 5 Pandavas have to fight the Kauravas. So now what are these 5 Pandavas? They are our senses. Or we can call they are the cosmos divided into various elements. What's that? They have to fight. They have to fight the Kauravas, which are within us. Now there are 100 Kauravas, not one. It is, if you extend it, then we can say the nature has to fight something that is against the nature. Now people will say anger is natural. Getting annoyed is natural. To be aggressive is natural. It is not. Anger and all these things may have been natural. But now we must know that we have the natural capacity to ascend. It's natural to go higher. It is natural to be Sthita Prajna. It is natural to be Sahajogi. This is also built in us. For example, a seed is a seed. When it is seed, we call it seed. All right, natural is to be seed. But then it sprouts, then becomes a tree. So it is also natural in a seed that all that future, all the thousands of trees it is going to be, is also in that seed. And now, as you know, they are experimenting that in one seed you can get 1,000, minimum of thousands of little sprouts in one seed, and which can be made, all of them, into trees or plants. This is a new thing that has come up. So when he said that you have to become a Sthita Prajna, what he was trying to say, that you should achieve your balance. Now this he told, there was a war on. When they were warring, all right, you have to do it. If you have to war with people, if you have to kill them, it's all right. But afterwards, once that is over, then what you have to do is to build up your spiritual sense. Now the building up of the spiritual sense is our work, and that's what we have to do. Not only dharma. Many Sahajogis think that they are going in dharma, so they are all right. They are working in dharma, they are living in a dharmic life, they are. I am very surprised and happy that they are doing it. But that's not the end of it. That's the balance part, where you are balancing yourself. Now what you have to do is to go ahead and build up your spiritual self and spread it. This is the work of Sri Krishna also, because he is the one who communicates all over. As you know, America is communicating everywhere, in a wrong way, but it is. It has got computers, it has got this, all communication things it has done, because it is innately built in them to communicate. But because they don't believe in Sri Krishna, neither in Dharma, so the basis itself is wrong. And with this wrong basis, they have started spreading. With this very, very wrong basis, they have started spreading all kinds of filth and dirt and I don't know what to call it, which is against human beings, which is against our ascent, which is against God. And they are doing all this. Why? Why are they doing which they are not supposed to do? I think it's the intellect. Their intellect, which is also, I should say, is the brain, which is the seat of Virat. Can you imagine? It's the seat of Virat. And with their intellect, what do? They say it is natural. It is natural to be adharmic. It is natural to be aggressive. It is natural to be money-oriented. Everything that they have is all natural. Because according to them, with their intellect, they have somehow or other managed to convince through your rationality that this is the correct thing to do. Without this you cannot exist. I mean, this is supposed to be their culture now. Now, if that is the culture all over, it's not only in America, all over, this sort of a nonsensical culture is accepted because of the intellect. They are much more intelligent. You see, a person who always thinks of money, this, that, naturally becomes very intelligent in the sense he becomes sharp, he becomes smart, he becomes smart in a way, something as if he knows everything. He starts thinking he knows everything. Whatever he is doing is right. Whatever the way he is behaving is right. So, these Pandavas which he has got within himself, these elements that he has got, he uses them for a purpose which is destructive, absolutely destructive, anti-God. And he is not aware, because his intelligence always justifies. Whatever he is doing is justified. And he has given also so much of brains to these intellectuals that they also try to go against what is Dharma. For example, even Sri Krishna's life, they try to depict by saying that Sri Krishna himself had 5 wives and he had 16 wives later. Actually, these were his power. But without understanding what Sri Krishna was, because intellect is such a gross nonsense that it doesn't take you to the right thinking, always to the wrong thinking. It moves you because you want to justify everything. And this justification makes you live with yourself. Otherwise, normally, you can't live with yourself. It is very difficult to live with a life which is adharmic, which is aggressive, which is what you can call a warmongering type. But they live. So, all that is expected of a human being, just the opposite of that, juxtaposition of that, is being done in all these Western cultures. You can see it clearly, how they justify. Immorality, they can justify. One Mr. Freud came in, he replaced even Christ. Of course, I mean, he had to, because Christ was even more strict than Muhammad Sahib, who said, anybody does anything with one eye, with the eyes, you should take out one eye. And anybody whose hand is spoiling him, he should cut his hand. I mean, most of the Europeans and Americans would have been without one hand, I think. According to Christ. Thank God they didn't follow him to that point. And also Muhammad Sahib thought that Christ has done so much for the men, why not we do something for the women also? So he made something for women. Both of them are too much for human beings. They didn't realize it. Who is going to take out one eye for that? They have intellect. Now, if they are looking at many women, there's a justification is natural. Have you seen any animal behaving like that? If the animals are natural beings, we are worse than animals. And what a mess we have created with this kind of understanding through these intellectuals who are trying to tell us something, and we accept. So this is one of the problems, is if there's an intelligent man, he dominates. Now, for example, some fashion starts. We all take it. It's a fashion. But why are you taking it? It's a fashion. So the intellect of an entrepreneur can really befool you completely. But not with people who are wise. They will say, get lost, we have had all this. This is about morality part. That is the worst practiced in the West. I mean, worse than animals, I should say. And that's how they are suffering today. They are suffering with so many diseases, so many troubles, this, that. Second thing which we always justify is violence. Now, there is no war going on in Kurukshetra. But you see violence everywhere. In America, it's terrible. When my daughter went, she took out all her ornaments, put it with me. She said, Mummy, I can't carry this. Nothing was given to the girl. All artificial things were given. Because you can be killed for it. I'm not saying it's only in America, it's everywhere. Because everybody's guru is America. It starts from America, the gurudom, and people just follow blindly. So the violence is now entering into our films, Indian films also, but now they have taken some objection. Maybe it is too much for us. But this kind of thing that you can kill anybody. So if you go on like this, you see, if that is the criteria of greatness, then Rwanda people should be placed highest in the evolutionary process. Killing somebody is not allowed. Thou shalt not kill. Muslims are killing. Everybody is killing everyone. The other day they killed a very nice man in India for nothing at all. This idea of aggressiveness ultimately takes you to the killing part. You can't even create one ant. How can you kill human beings like that? Of course, this killing business is taken to the highest limit, like Hitler believed that he was top of the world. This is same. That you just forget what you are and you start assuming through your ego that you are something very great. Also in Sahaja Yoga I find recently there are some people who are saying they are gods, they are deities, everything. So this ego business is actually taking energy of your intelligence. And the greatest enemy of a human being is his intelligence, I think. Because it's so limited, it is so conditioned, and it is so arrogant, and it is so blind. Wisdom is a different thing. Wisdom you don't get in colleges, schools, universities, nowhere. Where do you get it, the wisdom? You get it through your spirit, which gives you a complete idea as to what is right and what is wrong. Whatever is wrong will be accepted by intellect, always. Intellect is not wisdom, one must understand. There are two things, wisdom and intellect. Now Krishna was known to be the diplomat. He had divine diplomacy. That means what? He was very intelligent. No doubt, without that you can't do. I've met some people who are very highly placed, don't have much intelligence even, but I have now seen that this intellect is a dangerous thing. So Sri Krishna, he used his intellect. He is all powerful. Nothing can dominate him. Even his intellect cannot dominate him. He used his intellect. Difference between the two you should see. You should be able to use your intellect and not to be dominated by your intellect. So he used his intellect by which he solved many problems. His whole diplomacy was to use his intellect and use it for the purpose of divine. All the time the divine in him was helping him to use his intellect. So the difference is that we are slaves of our intellect and he is the master of his intellect. Not only everything, his conditioning, his master, his emotions, his master, his body, he is the master. He is master of everything. And when you master it, you see your intellect very clearly, oh, this is what it is suggesting. This is not. This intellect can give you very so-called positive ideas that you are the Lord of the whole world. This is supposed to be positive. Or the same intellect can give you ideas that you are nothing. This intellect plays on top of you. Now you are not to be guided by your intellect but by your wisdom, as you are Sahaja. So you have a very good instrument of feeling it. Through your vibrations you can make out what is good and what is bad. And you can see sometimes, as being human beings, there are some intellectual effects also coming in. But with Sahaja Yoga you can judge. What is this intellect telling you? Because the intellect that you have has come out of what? Is the main thing. Should go to the subtle point. How this intellect has come to us. This intellect has come to us because our brain became active very soon. I have seen some children extremely intelligent, but they have no wisdom. If only the brain develops too much, could be a mother is a very intelligent woman and father must be very intelligent, the inheritance would be great, so they get it. Or maybe the circumstances, like if you are born in a particular country, you suddenly become very intelligent. I've seen Americans, they read all the time. All the time you see them reading, even English they read. But what is the outcome of all that reading, I don't know. Every book they will read. If you ask them what is a computer, they know the computers, this thing, that thing, all things. I don't know how to even put off my television. If you ask them about television, they will know. Anything you want to know about mechanical things, they will know. Anything about politics, they will know. Whose father was that, and they will tell you that, no, this is like this is like that. All this is avidya. Is not knowledge, it is non-knowledge. So they think they are very intelligent because they know everything about everything. Now, with this intellect, as this consciousness comes in, they start creating very intellectual ideas. Especially in America I have seen, they have got for children all kinds of funny things just to extract money. For example, there is a gollywog or something which has a birthday. Can you imagine? A birthday is there. And sometimes, you see, even the people have big parties for that. Then they started, let us have birthday of the dogs. So they are having birthdays of the dogs. Anybody who puts ideas into them. Then there are organizations where they say, all right, when you are going to die, you tell us what suit you want to wear, what tie you want to wear, what shoes, what clothes, then what kind of a coffin you want to go, plastic or wood or this and that. So it is to be prescribed. To such an extent that some people say, put us in the ice, you see, so we'll be there. The worst thing, I think, especially in Europe, is that they have nicely advertised and marketed the thing of going for a holiday. So, in Italy, supposing a person doesn't go to a holiday, he'll say, there's a crisis in my life. What? I couldn't go to a holiday. Then they said, you must go there, tan your faces, stay there in hotels. So many hotels have come out. Everybody has to go out. Especially I was surprised, the whole of Milan is closed for 1 month. Nobody you can find there. See, I think if they all go and live in jungles would be a better idea. They will learn much more than to waste their time on the seashore. They are spoiling all the seashores. They have no respect for the sea, which is their father. They have no respect for each other. The women try to slim down and to look very nice so that they could become nude there. The whole industry is so bad. If somebody says, would you like to come to the seashore, I would not go. I would hate to go to a place to see so many stupid ladies in the sun, trying to tan themselves. Now this stupid idea, how could you accept if you are intelligent? There are so many ideas prevalent today, mostly coming from America, I must say, that you people follow. As I said, that America is the guru of all the Eastern, our European and English and all these people. Now, then another thing happens. You see the atmosphere in which you live. Especially in England, I have noticed. There may be nothing, There was a garbage cleaner who came to our house. And we had that time with us a president of the Hague High Court, imagine, the World High Court. So I told him, you have to clear out all these things. It's too much. As usual, you see, they are very, I don't know what to say, but stupidly proud about themselves. You don't understand. I said, how much do you want? I gave him 10 pounds. In those days, 10 pounds was a big thing. He said, you don't understand the laws. You see, you are all Indians, niggers, this, that. Then this gentleman who was in our house, he came out and he asked him, why are you shouting? You nigger, you don't understand any laws. He is the chairman of the World High Court, and this stupid Englishman talking like that. The English are really, in a way, they are really dumb people. Because their intelligence never tells them that you are nothing. What are you proud of? Such dumb people they are. I don't know, it might have come frozen with the coal or anything. But they think they are very intelligent. Their scholarship was all right. But I was amazed that in the beginning of the scholarship that they had, they said that the black people are like beasts. There are so many books written about it. And they accepted that black people are like beasts, while these people were living like I don't know what, at the time when black were much more advanced. So this kind of an idea when they have, I see here also, I can see this. that English they think no end of themselves. But they don't understand, they don't know anything. They have no wisdom. They lived in India for 300 years, they never learnt anything from India. You can imagine their wisdom part. Their scholarship, some of them, but still ambiguous. Say, Bernard Shaw, I think, was very ambiguous. I place him as a very great writer, but ambiguous. And then comes the French, God sake. Now, how have they denied Sri Krishna? You can see very clearly in French people. French wanted to become the highest in diplomacy. They lacked diplomacy, completely useless people. They made our telephone in India the way they have spoiled it. So they started a cult of drinking. Now can you imagine Sri Krishna drinking all these things? They have a dictionary on drinking, on everything. There's books after books written. I mean, imagine how could any evolved people accept this kind of a nonsensical culture that you must know what to drink, what to buy, what to put in, what sort of tumblers to be put. They are all tumblers, nothing but tumblers, I think. How could they accept such a thing, which is so stupid, is a social acceptance. Prostitution is another social acceptance. Morality-wise, they have really denied completely the principle of Sri Krishna. The way they have been ruining their people and to beat up everything is racialism. Can you think that for the skin you separate people? On the contrary, I would say the black, especially in India, they are much more evolved than all the white skins put together. Because they have wisdom. They are wiser people. But these white skins, they are going to, how did they get America also? They dominated so much, they conquered it, they settled down there. You saw yesterday from Sierra Nevada, you saw how people believed in wisdom and how they lived. They took away all their lands. Everybody, you see, is now nicely the owner of America. How? You are squatters. You came from another country, killed thousands and thousands of people without feeling guilty about it. That means they are not even human beings. And nicely settled as Americans. I don't know how this word America has come. But if it means Amara, they are not. It means Americas, they are not. Both ways, I don't know how this word has come and some sort of a meaning they attach to it. But their intellect grew much more. Why? Again, because of money orientation. I don't understand economics. And the way they have made this economics from their yarns which came out of their heads has landed all the countries into recession, all kinds of fraud, and also mafia. That is the outcome of this so-called economics they have. Surge economics is very different. We are not bound by all these nonsensical ideas that are prevalent as economics. It's nothing but exploitation, it's marketing, it's how to impress people, how to sell things, how to do this, how to do that. All this is nothing but, I would say, financial aggressiveness. What about Sri Krishna? He was the king and he lived like a king, but also he lived in a very humble abode in Gokul. He was not attached So the first thing is that the way they are attached to money, any justification for getting money is all right. Once we went to a hotel in India. So we had some American friends. And as usual, I mean, you can't eat like Americans can, Indians can't compete. They can eat a lot. So they were eating, but we couldn't cope with them, really, to be very frank. I mean, we're no good. After some time, they said, have you finished? I said, yes. All right. They called the waiter, pack this out. I said, what? Want to pack this for what? We paid for it. So you paid for it, but I mean, in India nobody will eat a food which somebody else has eaten. No, you pack it. And they had no shame about it. So shameless. I said, we don't do this in India. I said, why not? I said, these are bad manners. But we paid for it. Once you have paid for it, then there is no bad manners. I said, we don't want this to pack. We'll have it. We'll have it in the night. We'll have it in the evening. I was surprised that such miserly people are saying that they're very rich and they think no end of themselves. Extremely miserly. Americans are superficially nice, must tell you. On my experience is they are not like English that they look down upon everyone. No, you don't feel that way with them. But they are very superficial. You give them 10 presents, they won't even give you one. They have no sense at all, no shame about it. Why? Because the whole thing is we paid for it. I mean, you go to any place, any restaurant there or anything, you'll be amazed. They pack things for you if something is left over in America. They do. To that extent, they can go in their miserliness without any shame about it. And miserliness is out of survival. You cannot be miserly. You have to be generous. You have to be giving. You have to feel for others. Is this the only way we can express ourselves? All this generosity is not to create a big sort of a hero out of you. But the worst and the worst and the worst is the Hollywood. Is the film industry. Under the name of industry, you can do anything. Now this Hollywood is creating such horrible films, but the worst is that they get awards for these worst films. There's one film they showed, I have not seen, I can't see it. They told me that a man is a cannibal and he's eating the flesh of human beings, and they have shown and they enjoy. Very, very famous. Apart from that, not only famous, but they got awards for the best film, the best actor, the best. You must get a director from there and make him eat the flesh of human beings. It's the only way I think these horrible things. Then they are producing other pictures. I've seen another one for a short time, where they show all dead bodies hanging, you see. Horrible. Why these people like to see such horrible things? What is their character? Where have they gone? Why do they enjoy things which no human being who is a human being will enjoy? And then it goes further. That Halloween business, I saw a film, I said, my God, this is a hell in which they thought it was like the Ras of Sri Krishna. So it was Krishna consciousness, I think, that was working there. There are 1,001 things which can shock you in America, and also in England, also in Europe. I thought Austria was something better. But in Austria, when you walk on the road, in the night after the program, You must take darshan of many horrible women there on the way. I mean, this is nowhere. There we are forced into it. And they can't do anything about it. As if it's a matter of right, you see, what you call that of human right, to see such women. And human right for these women to be on the street. All horrible things are happening around. So Sahajogis have to equip themselves much more with the Sri Krishna's principle. The first principle is communication. First principle is how you communicate with others. Start it at home, with your children, with your wife, with your husband, how you communicate. Are you gentle? Are you kind? Are you dominating? Aggressive? Just try to find out. It can go to any limit, this aggressiveness, either of the women or of the men. Here more women, I must say, I'm sorry to say. But in my experience, I've seen the women are very dominating. In India, men are extremely dominating. But here, I find the women are. Now the basics, as human beings should have good manners. I don't find good manners, except that they wear good dresses, maybe they might be wearing those special type of dresses and all that. All manners are in dresses. But when there are people together, they talk nothing but scandal. I mean, unbearably horrible scandals they discuss. This is something one has to understand, that Sri Krishna never talked of scandals. How can this, the country of Sri Krishna and all other these European countries are just very equipped with all the scandals of the world? I just can't understand what is the interest people have in the scandals. So to top it all is your media, which is absolutely anti-Sri Krishna. Because they have to make money. It's such a hand-in-glove business that the people like to hear all this nonsense, so they have scandals in the newspaper. At least about 30 years back, you could never hear such a thing. And all such books were completely banned. And now suddenly the whole thing has flowered so well that any magazine, anything you take, and you can't understand. What are they preaching? They are preaching the cult of destruction, completely. And people take it and like it and work it out. They are using the women for their own purpose, and stupidly women accept it. Of course, they dominate. On one side, feel very happy that they are dominating. There was a lady who was boasting in one magazine that she has had 400 men in her life. Can you imagine? Now, there is no place for hell for such a woman. Where will you put such a woman there? Now, I don't know. That's another problem. So this movement, which is absolutely against the principle of dharma and of communication. Now, how you must communicate? Decently, with very tender and very beautiful mannerism. You have to talk to another person, talk to other Sahajogis, talk to anyone. Is in a very sweet manner you should talk. I do not mean the French style, you see, bending your body and all artificial stuff, not that. I am saying that if you are naturally talking to somebody, you should talk with decent language, with decency, with humility. I need not go on jabbering all the time and talking too much. There's no need. But on the contrary, this was the style of Sri Krishna. In short, his power was madhurya. It's the sweetness, like the honey. When you are worshipping Sri Krishna, you have to know that you must talk in a manner that will please another person. ये जा रहे क्या सोने, इनके लिए नाम है. I got a present for him. If he's sleeping, it's better give him. आ रहे वापस. अच्छा ठीक. So, while talking to anyone, you can talk very sweetly, very nicely, and in a way which will please that person, not to provoke, not to say things which are hard. But some people have a habit of saying all the time something which is very provoking, which is not at all good. But some people are, when it comes to their business, they're very sweet. But when it comes to something else, they're very harsh. We have a Jain community in India. I have seen many Jains. When they are for their business, they're the sweetest you could know. But when it comes to something else, like donating some money or something, they are extremely hard. They will only donate for stupid things, but not for something sensible. They'll work for something extremely stupid, but never for anything sensible. We have another community called as Sindhis. I think they are under the influence of the West. Same with the Western people. If you show that you have some business with them, suddenly, they change. Suddenly they change, you can't understand what has happened to this man. Or if they find out you are something in life, they change. Sri Krishna was just the other way around. In his lifetime, he was always a guest of Vidura, who was the son of a, or Dasi is the servant. Maid servant's son was Vidura, but he was a realized soul. So he used to go to his house, stay in his house, a very humble abode, Vidura's, and eat food there, very simple food. But he would not go to the palace of Duryodhana. The other way round. I mean, somebody thinks you have a palace, they'll be extremely kind to you, very nice, But they say he lives in a hut, then he is nothing. It's such a money orientation in subtle way. Sri Krishna never cared for money and never bothered about it. You can see his case in which he has shown complete detachment about his throne or his kingdom or money part of it. Once you are attached, you have all the pangs of money. Naturally, if you are catching hold of a snake, you will always be having the pangs of the snake, isn't it? But supposing you are detached, then the same money you can use. Once you become slave of that money sits on your head. Now, you know very well that to have money also is dangerous these days. The whole reaction is building up. And this is where all the elements are reacting against. You have seen the wisdom of these people from Sierra Nevada. And what they said is true. That when we try to acquire more money, go on acquiring, and getting an idea in our head, then there are looters who come around. I think the worst are those who have got names as entrepreneurs. For example, they'll say now, if you have a designer's watch, then everybody ran for designer's watches. The other day, I went to Italy, to Istanbul, and I found out that the T-shirts are made there and sold in France as if they are French. They are not. They are A to Z, they are made in there, which is Istanbul. And the name is on that, La Casto, this, that and all that. And people pay any amount, but not in Turkey. Whatever surplus is left, we can get it for £7. Now the stupidity is that they can befool you. Pia Carde, then there's another one, I don't know, Armani, that's in Italy only. But in America there are many. Even, they come to you, to your house. England is much worse. They're so unmannerly, they'll come to your house for dinner and they'll turn the plate to see where it is made. Really, openly. And they'll discuss from where the cutlery has come. So, though they think they are very rich, stupidly they are being exploited by this kind of nonsense. That you have this watch, you have this thing. Now, in England we have something called Savile Row. So that they put it outside, outside the court, Savile Row. Can you imagine? Branded. See, everything is made into a big ado. So on one side they are very intelligent to understand this is the business, this is the fashion, all that. The other side they don't know, they are fools. Being befooled all the time by saying this is the special thing, that is the special thing, and that it has a name and it has what you call a great organization behind it. Such yogis should understand this is all befooling and stupid thing. And they wear, all of them will wear like that, to show off. What is it? Why should this impress anyone? Think of it. Now intelligently think, why should it impress you? These befooling things that are going on. Nothing special, they are just the same. They told me in Istanbul that they make ordinary ones and then they put on top of this. And the ordinary ones are for say $6, so with this thing is for $7. It's nothing special. But this special trickery, I think, is coming from England and America, especially. Maybe also from France, but France are, rare people. Now they have something I showed them today. So stupidly made thing, which cost £500. But people accept because they have no wisdom. Now see the difference between the intelligence and wisdom. Why to show off, first of all? And to show off something which has no meaning. It cost only $1 in Turkey to put that thing on. And stupidly people are showing it. Is it that we have intelligence but which has no divine power? Anybody can befool you to do what you like. Now 6 inches of skirt started, alright, everywhere 6 inches. You couldn't get one with the 7 inches even. That's not in the fashion. That's not in. Means in madhouse. Now just look at Sri Krishna's style. So wise, witnessing everything. How he plays around and how he wins over. Now supposing he was attached, he could not have done it. So to get over this, first of all you detach yourself from this anti-Sri Krishna culture. It's very important. This is the fashion, that is the fashion. And all these fashions are extremely, extremely destructive. Now not to put oil in the hair and end up with bald heads, alright? Then there are specialists, you see, again designers who make wigs, designers wig. So you carry a wig on your head and write it down, designers. My idea is to see how stupid human beings can become with their intellect. Today, I don't want to describe the qualities of Sri Krishna because you know them. But how you people have gone away in the West from Sri Krishna's styles, his methods. Whatever he did was to destroy the evil, to destroy the negativity, and to bring forth the joy, which is Ras, he started. Ras. Ra is energy with that. The Ras is the energy which you have, and that's how you play the Ras with that energy and enjoy. He brought it holy. Of course now holy can be anything, but very sensible holy he brought just to express your joy in a mirthful, playful ways. Because that was lacking in Sri Rama's life. So he said, just allow yourself to enjoy. But this was only for Sahajogis, not for others. Others, you know that they go to the pubs, and what happens? We have a certificate here that we are very peaceful, very good people, this and that. This is what Sri Krishna said and has done, that we have to enjoy everything, but in a dharmic way. We should not be adharmic. The dharma should give you joy. Otherwise, if you are dharmic, you know what happens? That you become absolutely austere person, joyless person, and sometimes cynical, because you think others are adharmic and this and that. But Sri Krishna's ways were that you should be mirthful, you should be joyful. And this joy will communicate with others. Without this joyous nature, you cannot be communicated. But as you know, when I went to French, they told me, Mother, you look so joyous, you should tell you are miserable. I said, but I am not. If you don't tell, then they won't believe you. I said, why? Because they are all miserable and they think they are very unhappy people. So I started my lecture with Les Miserables, and I told them that at every 4th lamppost you find a prostitute and every 10th one a pub. And I see so many people sitting on the pavement. So I asked them, why are they sitting here? So they are waiting the whole world to be destroyed. I said, really? After drinking, these ideas come in, that let the whole world be destroyed because maybe they don't have any more money to go to pubs. I don't know why. Now think their level. Just think of their level. Where are they compared to you all? So, he is the one, as Virata, puts light into your brain. In that light you see what is stupid, what is unwise. This is the blessing of Sri Krishna. And he gives you the Nirananda. Because if you don't have the light, you cannot enjoy the joy of your mind or the joy of your brain. You cannot. And it is through his light that we see ourselves as something full of joy. And we don't know what to do with it. And how to do it. How to express our joy. How to express our feelings. Because it's too much. This is another fashion to say it's too much. Anything you tell the mother, it is too much. Because the brain is full of nonsense, so you tell them anything, nothing can go in their heads. It's too much. So the wise person, as Sri Krishna is, the wisest of wise, he is the source of wisdom, has to be Sthita Prajna. Means he has to be in balance, he has to be in dharma. And above that, he has to be in joy. Now, you are not only in joy, but you know the truth. You know the absolute truth. And this absolute truth is the one that makes you understand what is right, what is wrong, and you develop your wisdom, not your intellect so much. You then see your intellect misbehaving sometimes, telling you negative ideas, sometimes too much of aggressive ideas. You can become a witness, Sakshi, and that's what Sri Krishna has said, I am the Sakshi of the whole world, the witness of the whole world. See, you can go on talking about him, but what we have to say, where are we going wrong? And how can Sri Krishna save us? Not by saying Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, like that. No. By becoming day by day wiser person. Wisdom gives you definite ideas as to how you have to be. If there is still this thing going on, see, in the Western way they show like this. Ask them, how are you? I'm like this. Means what? Like this. If that is still there, then Sri Krishna is not awakened. But if it is that you know what it is, you will have the same smile as Sri Krishna had. I know. I know that. Now, we have to understand that our Vishuddhi has to be alright. I get Vishuddhi because I know what it is. It is America should be alright, otherwise my Vishuddhi will never be alright, I think so. But for Vishuddhi, there are so many things we have in Sahaja Yoga which very few people do. At least if you Sahaja Yogis keep your Vishuddhi alright, I'll be much better off. But you never try to keep your Vishuddhi alright, continue with it. Even the President of America has the worst Vishuddhi I've ever seen. So you can imagine what good is he going to do. What wisdom will he have? Now you are a new race, blessed by the Divine, and you have Sri Krishna within yourself awakened. In his own glory, in his own light. You should know what is to be done. One must communicate. That you have to do. But what I see, that people don't even meditate. Even if they meditate, they don't want to communicate. And sometimes when they communicate, they think they have become gods. It's very difficult. Human beings is very difficult commodity to handle. You have to communicate with complete humility. The way Sri Krishna did. In his ras, he spread the energy of Radha into all these people by holding hands. So his childhood, where he killed so many people and did all that, is over. Then even his adulthood, where he had to kill his own uncle, is also over. So he becomes the king. When he becomes the king, then what does he do? Is to communicate. Most of his expressions of his qualities are seen after he became the king. Before that, he was busy killing one after another, all these horrible people. After that, he built up people, he built Dwarika, and he tried to communicate with people. Now your duty is to build up yourself and to communicate with others, with all the sweetness, madhurya of Sri Krishna, all the beauty of Sri Krishna, with full understanding as to what stupid things are going around. Once you understand that, you will not take it, because you will become wise enough not to take to all these nonsensical things that are going on. And it is so much. In this lecture I cannot tell you, but now if you become the witness of the whole thing, you will see what is happening. Now we have to stop them from going to hell. And we have to really develop a very, very good personality of a Sahaja. All of you. Now there are many marriages that take place, then suddenly they decide to divorce. Divorce is allowed in Sahaja, but this American style of nonsense, I don't want to have. Women can be very dominating. One fellow ran away to Russia. They have no idea of a marriage. They don't know how to work it out. All the sweetness of the marriage is finished. If the husband is dominating, if the wife is dominating, this happens, then you divorce. What is the achievement? So we have to work out everything within us, because we are conditioned, we are in an atmosphere. I would request all of you to try to understand the subtleties of Sri Krishna's personality. Try to become like that. Extremely peaceful, extremely kind, tender, helpful. And in humility, he had no consciousness of money, nothing. And also, as you know, he was a dark person for some reason. But the way he led his life should be an example for us. I am sure now when you go back to your countries, you will see all this nonsense. Please note it down. Write it down what these nonsensical people are doing and send it over to me. That's what it is. So today is the puja of Sri Krishna. I need not tell you how many qualities he has, as I told you. But the greatest quality he has, that he is the doctor of doctors. Now in his name you will know how many qualities he has, and you will understand. Try to understand that we have to have these qualities within us also. Whatever qualities are described or said, try to see how many we have. That's the way the introspection will start. Once you start introspecting yourself and understanding yourself, the wisdom will grow. Not by seeing faults in others, putting blames on others, but on yourself. That is how the things will work out. Though Krishna didn't have to do that because he was Sampurna, he was complete. But we have to do all this to see that we also become complete. Thank you very much. May God bless you all. May God bless you. There's another point I wanted to mention about Sahajogis, that we introduce classical Indian music for you people, because I think it helps for vibration. But as the nature is of Western people, anything they take up, they must go to the ultimate end till they are completely lost. So what I find, now all of them are buying tapes. Some tapes, क्या बेटे? क्या है? बाद में आना, अभी हम बुलाएंगे तुमको. क्या बात है? को क्यों भेजा आपने? अभी आप जाइए, मैं आपको बुला लूँ. Now some of them are buying tapes, I was surprised, of very unknown people, just mad. Once I was traveling with a lady in America, who was a disciple of Muktanand. She said, I have a very nice tape, and she played the lecture of Muktanand. Rajneesh's people will play the lecture of Rajneesh. But here now, they've all gone to one side. So this one, that one, all kinds of music they have got. Tomorrow we start telling you that you must understand Indian dancing. So all my videos will be replaced by Indian dancing from A to Z. You are Sahajogis. It's all right, I am also fond of music, but this is not the way. What is the main thing of your life? And I was surprised how people are lost in the music. I mean, there should be some occasion. They're all already in the another world with the music. Don't do these things. You go to extremes of everything. That's not proper. Even pujas, anything. You go to extremes. To go to extremes, you won't be in the center. You will not be in the place of Sri Krishna, where you have to be. On the contrary, you will be just in another imaginary world. So, as a matter of habit, we create a world like that. Somebody has music world, somebody has dancing world, another one has a world I've seen with Sahajogis who think no end of themselves. We have a special relationship with Sri Mataji. It's a very common thing. But I cannot have any special relationship. Sorry. Nobody has any special relationship with me. This I would like to tell you very clearly. And you should not claim that. And then become, some people say we are deities. I mean, this is something to be horrible. I'll speak for 2 minutes in Marathi, if you don't know. आता या महाराष्ट्रीयन मुलींसाठी मला सांगायचं आहे की तुमची इथे लग्न झाली, नवरे श्रीमंत मिळाले. मी इथे आल्याबरोबर तुम्ही आई वडिलांना इथून पैसे पाठवता. असं होतं का आपल्या हिंदुस्थानात? तुमच्या सासरून तुम्ही पैसे पाठवू शकता का? दुसरं दागदागिने फार बनवायला लागले. मला एका गृहस्थाला मी म्हटलं की तू एक शर्ट का नाही विकत घेतलं? तो म्हणे काय करू, माझी बायको सगळे पैसे दागिन्यात घालते. एवढा दागिन्यांचा शौक सहजोगांना शोभत नाही. हा म्हणजे भयंकर प्रकार. आणि नंतर मला कळलं, सर्वे झाला की सगळ्या महाराष्ट्रीयन बायकांनी दागिने बनवले लग्नानंतर. नवऱ्याजवळ पैसे राहत नाहीत. जे नवरे पूर्वी सहजोगाला सपोर्ट करत होते ते म्हणजे आम्ही करू शकत नाही कारण आमच्याजवळ पैसेच नाहीत. झालंय काय तुम्हाला? तुम्ही संतांच्या भूमीतनं आले. तुकाराम महाराजांना शिवाजी महाराज फार मानत असत आणि त्यांच्या बायकोसाठी ते दागदागिने घेऊन गेले. आता ती बायको तुमच्यासारखी असेल कोणतरी, तिने पटकन घेतले सगळे दागिने. दागिन्यांचा शौक कशाला पाहिजे? अहो मी देवी असून मला शौक नाही, तुम्हाला कशाला पाहिजे शौक? जबरदस्ती देता म्हणून घेते. आणि त्यांनी ते दागिने जेव्हा दिले त्या बाईनी घेतले. पण तुकाराम आले ते म्हणाले आम्हाला संतांना कशाला पाहिजे दागिने, सगळे वापस केले, परत करून दिले. त्या संतांच्या भूमीतनं तुम्ही आलात. आता हे दरिद्रीपणाची लक्षणं आहेत. आपल्या आई वडिलांना पैसे पाठवायचे आणि ते किती विकोपाला गेले मी सांगू शकत आहे तुम्हाला. भलतच्या सलते करायची ही पद्धत ठीक नाही. तुम्ही इथे सहयोगासाठी आले, दागिने बनवण्यासाठी नाही आलात. ठीक आहे, एखाद गोष्ट केली तर ठीक आहे, पण सारं लक्ष जर तिकडेच घातलं दागिने 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 तर नवरा सुटायचा सहयोगातनं. हे पुण्यकर्म गाठाल तुम्ही. आता कोणी मला विचारल्याशिवाय दागिने करायचे नाहीत. We'll have the puja now.